Everybody stay away from the can. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. This is a Tuesday after Raw. All the prelude to the Carolina Panthers versus the Arizona Cardinals, and now WWE's got a big decision to make. Should they rush around and book Brie against Charlotte because Nikki got hurt by her own dang move a couple weeks back? But now's the time whenever the women need to highlight the show and carry the torch for the boys on the Smackdown come Thursday night. And the stars must be aligning because everything on the Earth's axis is coming together like a wellly formed puzzle. Something of divine intervention's putting this together in the entertainment world. The NFL is now playing right along with the WWE. The WWE has to play to the cards that it's being dealt. Now's the time whenever they ought to use the women to main event on the Smackdown Thursday night. Those WWE created team, they need some assistance. Be doing some research for them. Not everybody's a world-class sports broadcast journalist like I am. I'm the one that said that Peyton Manning's going to probably win the Super Bowl because the NFL feels sorry for him. And I'm the one that said that the NFL felt sorry for the state of North Carolina because they've been watching all that bad college football for so long that they decided to, have something for the state of North Carolina to be happy about. So they told all these teams to lay down to the Carolina Panthers so there wouldn't be rapid amounts of manic depression breaking out throughout the state. That's the reason why they did it. You don't get in the position I'm in. You don't get in the position I'm in by saying incorrect stuff. That's the truth on the NFL. Everybody knows it's a work. They learned from the WWE. The NFL commissioner calls Vince McMahon on ideas all the time. So, because the WWE is mainstream sports entertainment. Okay, back to the Charlotte versus Brie deal. Right now, because of the male roster is such a bunch of lazy puke millennials who look like they don't know a wrist lock from a they look like they don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch, and now is the time to put them in. Let them highlight the show. Do like Kevin Sullivan used to do down in Florida. Test run them in a smaller spot before you throw them and throw them up on Raw. It's almost getting to the point right now where the women need to be main eventing Raw every week anyway. Because I don't mark out to the men, I'll mark out to the women just because the women are just a heck of a lot better to look at than some of the men. So, I know that was the sound. Sound the alarm. I mean, come on, they have to use the women better. The divas are their money right now. Right now, there's no direction with the males on the show. They have to start using the females better. Give them the top spots. Let Charlotte beat Roman Reigns. If he don't start producing, they need to let Charlotte just beat him. Take that belt from him. Give him some humble pie. Because Charlotte knows how to carry that belt better better than Roman Reigns does. I don't know what's happening there. Roman Reigns is from a wrestling family, but he doesn't act like it at times. Sort of like Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's the same way, from a wrestling family, but acts like he doesn't have any wrestling heritage at all. A couple years back on his social media accounts, I think I would have fired him right there. I would have said, would have been like Donald Trump. You're fired. Get out. Get your crap. Get off my show. Go work for those pukes at TNA. That's what I would have done. The minute he started breaking kayfabe on social media, on a gimmick that he shouldn't have been breaking kayfabe with, and Mike Rotunda knows that. Mike Rotunda knows about all the great mask gimmicks through the years. He's wrestled them. But his son acted like I've never even seen an old show, and that's just not right. And it's the same thing with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns from a family that's got a big old huge lineage as far as Samoan pro wrestlers. They know the deal, but he acts like he don't know the deal either. So Charlotte deserves to have both spots when it comes right down to it. Be the top male and female performer until everybody else can step up their game. So, with that being said, Charlotte and Brie deserves, now here comes an old Navy saying for you, they deserve to have the load of the show. Put all their eggs on one basket, put it on Charlotte and Brie come Thursday night. You got the whole NFL, thing going down with Arizona versus the Carolina Panthers this week, which is being heavily covered by the mainstream media. Because the reason why it's being covered by the mainstream media is I'm covering it. I'm doing a day-by-day thing, live and recorded podcast leading up to the game. This is because I'm the antagonist of antagonists in the Carolinas. I'm walking around with the Arizona Cardinals cap on right smack through the middle of Main Street of Fayetteville, North Carolina, because that's just the kind of guy I am. I love rubbing people wrong. I live for it. I ain't like some of these wrestling pukes nowadays, these wannabe heels. They call themselves heels, but out on the street they're a bunch of choir boys. I ain't that way. I'm walking straight through the enemy's territory because I'm rooting for the Arizona Cardinals because everybody knows I root for winners. So, and not only that, I found out that the state of North Carolina has a loophole this week. They can claim the winners no matter what because the Cardinals is supposedly the state bird of North Carolina. So no matter what, if they get the crap beat out of them this week, they're going to be claiming their state bird won. They really won the game. So now the NFL is just putting over the whole state of North Carolina no matter what this year. They'll probably figure out a way if they get beat by the Patriots to have them say that they were really behind them winning. I mean, come on. All right, another topic we need to discuss is the whole Dolph Ziggler / Stardust tag team. And I'm going to tie that into Kevin Owens. Well, all right, Dolph Ziggler, there's no denying it. He's a great worker. He's a great worker. A lot of the old timers in the business said he's the second coming of Kurt Hennig. So, with that being said, a question I get asked a lot is, how come is he not the world's heavyweight champion? Okay, me being an ex-tag team champion, and I was only one of the, let me rephrase this. I was part of a faction, but I was only one of the faction who wore a sport coat on a consistent basis. Okay, with that being said, the main reason why Dolph Ziggler will never, ever, ever get propelled up is his dressing habits when he's not wrestling. Ric Flair said that Harley Race was a world's champion 24/7. Really? if you exclude John Cena's gimmick and you look at his outside activity, he's world champion, or he was world champion, well, still is world champion 24/7. He's still the face of the company. So, with that being said, that is how come Dolph Ziggler he's got to straighten out. I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying that since last year's Hall of Fame when he showed up dressed like a bad skateboarder who just got done crashing. I don't know what his thinking was, wearing tennis shoes with the sports jacket and all that. That's great if that's an MTV Music Awards or something like that. That's a great way to dress. I'll give him props on that. If it was an MTV Music Awards, but when you're in that position that he's in, and he's really middle of the card right now. There's no getting around it. He's middle of the card. He's like right on the verge. The bad thing about being in the middle is this. There's two ways to go, up or down. And if somebody out politics you, you're going down. That's the bad thing about being in the middle of the card. So, with that, I made a joke with somebody today. They ought to team him with Kevin Owens. Because Kevin Owens doesn't know how to dress going to the ring, and he doesn't know how to dress leaving the building. They could call him Beavis and Butthead. This whole Kevin Owens deal's had me shook up for a couple of days just because I saw on Facebook, I don't know who it was. I get a charge out of some of the stuff that gets posted on Facebook on some of the off the wall wrestling websites, but they had a picture of Kevin Owens along with a picture of The Undertaker saying this could be the WrestleMania match. Man, if they do that, they're wanting to go broke. Because that makes no sense whatsoever. The problem is you got 80% of the roster hurt because they won't slow down the show. Right now, if you watch all the matches, every match on TV is on Titan time. It's been that way for 9 months. They're trying to rush and get everything off. And by getting everything off, I'm saying they're going from one match to the next commercial. They're rushing them out, and then they go out there do spot 62 because that's the way how a lot of these new kids work nowadays. They got on their wristbands. If you look real closely, they have plays. They have spots like football quarterbacks have their plays on their wristband. So they go out there and do a bunch of their spots. And then they come back in, and then the gorilla rushes them out, the next match out, and the whole match is rushed. They bring them back in, then they go to a 3-minute, 5-minute commercial or whatever. Then they rush the next match out, and I know it's profound. You heard it here. I just got done giving you the WWE's format to a show. That's how it's done. You can see it. If you're from the wrestling business, instead of being a stupid puke mark, you would know that. They're rushing the show. And that's how come a lot of people are getting hurt. On top of that, you're tying a pretty crazy, even though they're not wrestling as much, you're still tying in a pretty crazy travel schedule. So, that's how come everybody's getting hurt. A lot of times, it's the trip there that wears you out, and then the WWE is a lot like any other thing, or especially a lot like the military. It's a bunch of hurry up and wait. They get them to the arena in a hurry. They make them sit there and do all these promo walkthroughs. Oh yeah, by the way, all my stuff is on the fly. There's nothing written down. What you guys are hearing, you're hearing from the heart. I'm not like some of those pukes like Vince Russo and some of them who have to write down what they got to say. All my stuff's on the fly. So, with that being said, and I'm granted, I'm getting a little bit more plays now. I've only been doing this show 4 or 5 days. I'm not. I've been around some people in the wrestling business, but I've never been in the position that they're been in. Because if I was in the position they're in right now, I could literally shut out the WWE's lights out every night if I was ever in their position, because I'm one of the biggest self-promoters who ever existed in the face of this country, because I'm the agitator of agitators. I am the marketing genius. I'm the one who put internet startup whenever internet startup wasn't cool. I'm the master of technology. I can get more out of nothing than anybody on the face of this earth. If you knew about my wrestling career, you would know that, because I'll be the first one to tell you years into experience. When you ask somebody their years of experience in the wrestling business, it's one of the biggest loaded questions in the wrestling business nowadays, with these bunch of millennial pukes running around. All these millennial pukes in the indies are lying about how much experience they really have. I mean, I could do a whole show just off that. But who wants to talk about a bunch of indie pukes? We got football, we got NBA, we got NASCAR, we got WWE. And now I'm also educated enough, I could tie in political. We can talk about politics. We can talk about anything on my show. There's nothing. Nobody gets by nothing on my show. As soon as that puke Hillary Clinton gets elected, she's going on the chopping block on my show too. So, by the way, you might as well get used to it. Because I'm such the inside guy and I'm so mainstream. People like stuff that I say and stuff. I heard that pretty much Hillary Clinton's pretty much got this presidency won. Donald Trump ran his mouth too much. It's all over. He actually ran his mouth so much where people started blotting him out, and he's falling into polls. People are dropping him like third period French. I mean, it's over. It's over. Hillary, that's what Hillary wanted. I thought either Hillary was going to do it or Jeb was going to do it. Just sit there and let him run himself out and let him run his mouth out until nobody wants to listen. But now he went a couple of $100 million in the hole trying to get elected, and now he has nothing left. He's out of gas. He's out of gas on his deal. Now's the time WWE ought to book another Vince against Donald Trump, because they'd make a killing off the deal. You know why? Because Vince sort of played himself out too much on the network, and Donald Trump played himself out too much on the campaign to become president. Shoot, it'd be like a couple of job guys having a match against each other. Talk about boring TV. That was exclusive. You heard it here. He hates these cans. You heard it here. You heard it here. I just got done calling Vince and Donald Trump a couple of job boys. So, and really, you think about it, Dana White has turned Vince into a job boy, and Hillary Clinton is basically jobbing out Donald Trump. So, I know, exclusive. That was exclusive. You won't hear it anywhere else. So, but basically, what you have is, as far as WWE show, at times you see a lot of panic. It's like you would think that they have friends putting together the show from WCW. They're rushing the stuff together at 7:59. You can see it. Some of the promos in back are getting rushed. Now's the time. They're coming up on WrestleMania, and you get a lot of misdirection. You can see that. I was a bad guy for saying that, I know, but you're coming up on WrestleMania and they don't know which way, they don't know what to do with it. I've said, and you guys heard me say it on a podcast last week, that Natty and Charlotte are ready to have the top spot in WrestleMania. They don't need to be bringing all these guys in. NXT's killed the business as far as that. NXT's getting too much attention now. Now they're taking away from their pay-per-views because of NXT. Because Triple H, that's Triple H's baby, so he thinks it ought to go over more than an actual pay-per-view. Well, hello, Dusty Rhodes used to say, you don't show your best stuff on TV, you save it for the big show. So I don't know what Triple H is doing. You can tell he's a Yankee. He don't know how to book good stuff. You save your best stuff for the pay-per-view. That's how you bring them in. If you don't do that, then why? And you show your best stuff on TV, then why even pay for the pay-per-view? Which was my whole thinking on the network to begin with. The network actually takes away from the pay-per-views too, because it gives how should I say this, where you can understand it. By having the network, you have a chance where something will get dropped too fast, and there could be an accident sort of happening where an angle gets thrown out there whenever that angle should have been thrown on a pay-per-view, or that type of match, or nowadays, that phrase or slogan. Can you believe that? That idiot Triple H actually turned "that's best for business" into a slogan, into an angle. I wouldn't go as far as saying that he turned it into an angle, because right now, it's hard to say. I've said it on my show. I thought that Beer Money Incorporated guy should have been dropped straight into Raw without an announcement. No press release or nothing. Dropping straight into the show. AJ Styles should be dropped straight into the show. That guy from Japan, he should be dropped straight into the show. They're experienced. They don't need all this other stuff. Right now, by WWE sending all these guys to NXT, the only thing they're doing is showing them how to rush through a match and work on Titan time. So the production crew at WWE probably most likely needs to cut down a match somewhere on almost every show. Because every match, or cut down a promo, don't take away from the wrestling, cut down on the promos, which has been a lot of people's theory for a long time. Because you got a 30-minute promo over basically nothing. Whenever, fans ought to be carrying "shut up and wrestle" to the signs to the show instead of feeling sorry for these guys. You're lucky I'm not in some of these towns. I'd be having signs out there. I would be paying people to hold up signs that would say "shut up and wrestle." I mean, there is so much that's not getting done right. They're wrestling on Titan time all the time. NXT is showing them how to wrestle on Titan time and doing a bad job of showing them how to wrestle on Titan time. So you got everything there that they got a lot of work to do. And on top of that, you got Vince McMahon, who likes losing the pay-per-view war. So, because they know it doesn't take much to beat out TNA, because TNA is a bunch of slugs anyway, and their show's done in real bad taste. They're not even running good angles anymore. Ever since that Aces and Eights angle, and everybody wanted to commit suicide after they saw that angle. It was terribly done. They almost, you know what TNA needs to do? If TNA was smart, right after they fired Bill DeMott from the WWE, they should have hired Bill DeMott. And I don't know Bill DeMott from Adam. I know he's a Yankee and all that, and I know he's a football fan. At least that's one thing he has going for him. But if TNA was smart, they would have hired Bill DeMott right there. At least don't bring him in as a booker. Let him go in and let him walk some of these young kids through a match and, give them some wrestling etiquette. Because TNA is lacking a lot of wrestling etiquette right now. And so is Ring of Honor. But the only thing is, Ring of Honor, I can't tell what Ring of Honor is doing right now because it's just... Actually, to me right now, Lucha Underground looks better than Ring of Honor. So, you heard it here. You heard it here. You heard it here. Lucha Underground's actually looking a little bit better than Ring of Honor, cosmetic-wise. So, with that being said, let me back up. I want you guys to understand this. Vince likes losing the war to the UFC. Now, everybody says they're two different entities. No. The UFC is basically 1970s wrestling without the trash talk. And we'll take that back. Ever since Conor McGregor got here, it's nothing but trash talk. And we're really, since Chuck Liddell entered the game, it's really shifted, and then Rampage Jackson and all that. But anyway, Vince has got used to Dana White handing him his butt pay-per-view time on the pay-per-view deal time after time. So, and I said, I've heard a lot of people on a lot of other podcasts say, well, it's two different entities. No, if it's a pay-per-view, if it's a sporting event, you're battling against them. I don't know, sometimes I used to wonder, I heard a rumor that Vince is not Jewish, because if Vince was Jewish, he would not let this get done to him. So you can tell that Vince has no Jewish heritage in him whatsoever. And he's not a Zionist, because a Zionist that was tied to the Bilderberg Group and Skull and Bones would not let this happen to them. Skull and Bones will not handle getting beat like that. And the WWE is losing too much. And this week they have a chance to get the mainstream media behind them. They should have already been cutting commercials last night after the show with, building up Brie and Charlotte to Smackdown, and then almost tying the Cardinal logo to the Panther logo. Let them wear jerseys out if they have to. If they do that, let them cut promos in their team's jerseys. It's there. Everything's there. This is their one time where they get a freebie to bring the mainstream media in and turn it into the talk of the town, wherever they're wrestling at. If the mainstream media is not tied to this week, it's a major, 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 major drop ball by the WWE. You heard it here. All the other podcasters are out there sucking up the Vince and all this. I'm telling him where he's screwing up this week. And don't think for a fact that's Triple H's show. It's Vince's show. Triple H is the yes man to Vince. That's how come he's his little brother, son-in-law. So, basically, you got the take on that. So, when you're sitting around reading the dirt sheets like all you pukes are doing, you heard some good old-fashioned West Texas wrestling knowledge from the one and only Texas Torque Wrench, Shane Bedingfield, the guy that's taken the sports broadcast journalism to another level. I just got done tying in a bunch of stuff all at once. I'm the cutting edge in sports technology.